चार्य अष्टोत्तर सतस्य डिवाइन के सभ्य चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सतस्य डिवाइन के शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की जय।
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय
जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडराचार्य शिल प्रभुपाद की
जय
नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
प्रेम से को जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय
जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
जय
मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की
जय
नवदीप मायापुर धाम की
जय
पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
जय
इस्कॉन फिलाडेल्फिया की
जय
जय। श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की
जय
परम करुणा श्री गौर निताय की
जय
समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari
हरे
Hari.
हरि बोल।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Hare Krishna, good morning. We will begin with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, a new chapter. Canto 3, Status Quo. Chapter 2, Remembrance of Lord Krishna. There are two verses we will read. I will read the first one. There is no purport. Then the second one we all can repeat. Sri Sukha Vacha Iti Bhagavato Prushta Kshatriya Vartam Priyashayam Prativaktum na Chasseha Utkantyat Smariteswara. Translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, when the great devotee Uddhava was asked by Vidura to speak on the messages of the dearest Lord Krishna, Uddhava was unable to answer immediately due to excessive anxiety at the remembrance of the Lord. Text 2. Ya panchahayana matra pratarasaya yachita tanne chadra chayan yasya saparyam balalilaya. Ya panchahayana matra pratarasaya yachita tanne chadra chayan yasya saparyam balalilaya. Yo panchahayano matra pratarasaya yachita tanne chadraya chayan tanne chadrayan yasya saparyam balalilaya. Please recite. A little hard.
Ya panchahayano matra pratar ashaya yachita tannai chadrachayan yasya saparyam balalilaya.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna. Ya panch ayano matra ratar asaya yachita tan nechad rachayani yasya saparyam bala lileya. Hare Krishna.
य पञ्चहायनो मात्रा प्रातार् आशा याचिता तन्नैच्छ रचयन् यस्य सपर्यं बाललीलया. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we can do the synonyms. Ya, one who. Pancha, 5. Hayana, years old. Matra, by his mother. Prata asaya, for breakfast. Yachita, called for. Tat, that. No, not. Aichat, liked. Rachayan, playing. Yashya, whose. Saparyam, service. Bala Leelaya, childhood. Translation. He was one who, even in his childhood, at the age of 5 years, was so absorbed in the service of Lord Krishna that when he was called by his mother for morning breakfast, he did not wish to have it. Purport. From his very birth, Uddhava was a natural devotee of Lord Krishna, or a Nitya Siddha, a liberated soul. From natural instinct, he used to serve Lord Krishna, even in his childhood. He used to play with dolls in the form of Krishna. He would serve the dolls by dressing, feeding, and worshipping them, and thus he was constantly absorbed in the play of transcendental realization. These are the signs of an eternally liberated soul. An eternally liberated soul is a devotee of the Lord who never forgets him. Human life is meant for reviving one's eternal relation with the Lord, and all religious injunctions are meant for awakening this dormant instinct of the living entity. The sooner this awakening is brought about, the quicker the mission of human life is fulfilled. In a good family of devotees, the child gets the opportunity to serve the Lord in many ways. A soul who is already advanced in devotional service has the opportunity to take birth in such an enlightened family. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 6.41, Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashta Abhijayate. Even the fallen devotee gets the opportunity to take his birth in the family of a well-situated Brahmana or in a rich, well-to-do mercantile family. In both these families, there is a good opportunity to revive one's sense of God consciousness automatically, because, particularly in these families, the worship of Lord Krishna is regularly performed, and the child gets the opportunity to imitate the process of worship called Archana. The Pancharatriki formula for training persons in devotional service is temple worship, whereby the neophytes get the opportunity to learn devotional service to the Lord. Maharaj Parikshit also used to play with Krishna dolls in his childhood. In India, the children in good families are still given dolls of the Lord like Ram and Krishna, or sometimes the demigods, so that they may develop the aptitude of service to the Lord. By the grace of the Lord, we were given the same opportunity by our parents, and the beginning of our life was based on this principle. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbisesa Sunyavadi Paschyata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Digora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good morning. Welcome everyone. I would like to seek blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas. Bless me to I can share and remember for my own purification. These are beautiful verses, a very advanced subject matters. We are hearing as this chapter is entitled Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Uddhava and Vidura, they met in pilgrimage of by Vidura. When Vidura was in pilgrimage, he met Uddhava. And this is what incident takes place. Conversing about Lord Krishna. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, when devotees meet together, this Krishna manifest. Machita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantastam mam tusyam brahma tusyam kathayantam mam. I forgot what is that. Nityam tusyam. Nityam, yeah.
Kathayantascha mam nityam.
Nityam tusyantacha ramantacha. Tusyanta, satisfaction. I know Prabhupada don't have purport in this particular verse, and I really wanted to focus a few minutes on this to remind myself and ourselves how fortunate we are to be able to get the association of the devotees. Real association is that which reminds one another of Lord Krishna and his devotees. And one can experience the transcendental bliss. It's inspiring again and again. I remember in those days, I used to travel with my family with small child also, every Sunday and sometimes weekday also, to be in association of the devotees. We were very much inspired all the time to be with all the devotees in Philadelphia. Wonderful, beautiful kirtan, katha, learning from the devotees. Rupa Goswami also in Upadesamrita, he has in the 5th verse he writes, I think somewhere here, yeah, he writes, one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. Actually, our teachers have given all these guidelines, for the gradual development of the sincere soul. Even if one is not sincere, by associating with a sincere devotee, one will be develop sincerity. That's my understanding. Sangha sanjayate kama. According to the association, one will develop such kind of desire. So here, the great opportunity, incident we can see that Vidura meeting Uddhava, both were relishing that bliss. One is inquiring about Krishna, the other one is hearing. Uddhava has not spoken yet, actually. Let me share the screen again. Uddhava has not spoken yet, right? Uddhava has not spoken yet. He's going to speak, but Vidura, from his questions, he reminded of Lord Krishna to Uddhava. And as soon as Uddhava hears all this, he becomes in ecstasy. He felt excessive anxiety in the remembrance of Krishna. That is a good symptom. Anxiety in the material world is not very good, but excessive anxiety at the remembrance of Lord Krishna is a good symptom. So here Uddhava and Vidura. So this is an example for all of us, that when we come in association of the devotees, we have only one goal, is how to progress bodhayanti parasparam, each other, help each other in remembrance of Lord Krishna, encourage each other. Now, this particular verse, second verse 2, is very educational as well. This talks about Uddhava's childhood. Uddhava is Krishna's cousin brother. Maybe later Vishnupada Prabhu can share whose son he is. His cousin brother, his appearance also as if he appeared like Krishna himself, his features. But why he was in ecstasy? Because he's a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. It seems in his childhood, when he was at the age of 5, he used to play with the doll of Krishna. Interestingly, the doll of Krishna was available that time also, looks like, because generally the deities comes and the deities comes once in our life, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's deities come. So after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken, manifested himself, then the deities comes later. First deity came of first deity was installed by Narottam Das Thakur. But here, interestingly, Uddhava is a cousin of Krishna, but he had a Krishna's, if I understand correctly here, that's what it says, that he had a small doll of Krishna. From his very birth, Uddhava was natural devotee of Lord Krishna, or a Nitya Siddha. My point is, not everyone who is from playing with childhood necessarily a Nitya Siddha, but here at least Uddhava is a Nitya Siddha because he's a Nitya Siddha from the Shastras, and from childhood is a natural attraction for Krishna. He is a liberated soul. From natural instinct, he used to serve Lord Krishna even in his childhood. Generally, children are playful. They like to play and get this. But some children, specific children, they're inclined towards worship very much. Prabhupada gives the example also at the bottom, we will go through. So Uddhava used to play with dolls in the form of Krishna. He would serve the dolls by dressing, feeding, and worshipping them. And thus, he was constantly absorbed in the play of transcendental realization. So what a wonderful upbringing. And from here, we can also see that the devotional service to the Lord, it remains. It doesn't get destroyed by the destruction of the body. It does not apply to Uddhava. Of course, it applies to others. Any child who has taken, any person who has left his body in the middle of a devotional service without completion, and as Arjuna is asking, what happens to those who did not become successful in their endeavor? So Krishna says that Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Vrashta Vijayate. Oh, no worries. No worries. Devotees never get pernicious. Either they attain perfection, go back to spiritual world, Krishna said about, or they're given the again wonderful opportunity. A devotee's family, one can very easy to remember Krishna, engage immediately arati ceremony, worshipping the deities, or in a rich family where all the facilities for devotional service will be available. One doesn't have to work hard just to earn his bread and butter constantly. For some people, life is not very easy. They have to work really hard, 10 hours to pay their bills, maintain their body. Now also we can see many devotees has a difficulty to spare some time in chanting and practicing devotional service sincerely because they have other commitment to maintain their body, their financial needs. But here, at the Suchinam, at the Brahmanas family, Vaishnavas family, one can take birth. Srimatam, or rich aristocratic family, one can take birth. Krishna makes all these facilities for the devotees to go further. But Uddhava was from beginning of his life, he was completely absorbed in the remembrance of Lord Krishna, playing with him, playing with the doll form, feeding, worshipping. So Prabhupada writes, these are the signs of eternally liberated soul. An eternally liberated soul is a devotee of the Lord who never forgets him. So that's the symptom. Now here, Prabhupada writes, the human life is meant for reviving one's eternal relation with the Lord, and all religious injunctions are meant for awakening this dormant instinct of the living entity. That was really meant for. But we all, especially at this time, so much deviation, so much of distraction, unbelievable distraction in this age and time. And we are constantly distracted by so much of material gadgets, facilities, amenities. And everyone is struggling or competing to improve their living condition, material conditions of living. And Prabhupada gave another word, simple living and high thinking. Some of the devotees may not like, but there are few devotees in ISKCON, they really have set up an exemplary centers where devotees can live their, fulfill their basic necessities, prasadam, sleeping, eating, sleeping, and mating, defending, simplified way, and then engage their time in more in devotional service. So the model, they created this model, which in America, we don't find it very much yet, because America is mostly congregation-based, temples. We have to live our own life, struggle in the world, get money to pay our apartment and house bills, electricity and utility bills, get ready for keeping our children for college, paying that, all these things. This is very different. Devotees are practicing differently in different places based on the time, place, and association. That I'll share with here. That there are centers in ISKCON that teach, how is possible to live in simple way. So Prabhupada says that human life is meant for that. Prepare your life in such a way that you can progress. There has to be a check and balance how we are progressing in spiritual life or not. Then he says, in a good family of devotees, the child gets the opportunity to serve the Lord in many ways. Prabhupada writes, when he was small child, he could hear the bell, ding, 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 in Lilamrita. You can see it, literally written like this, because his father will wake up in the morning, offer Aarti ceremony, deity worship. So Prabhupada can hear. So those are the impressions, those are the shikritis, trainings a child gets automatically when one grows up, when born in a devotee family. Now, he also says that here, the Pancharatriki formula for training persons in devotional service is temple worship, whereby the neophytes get the opportunity to learn devotional service to the Lord. We are studying in the deity worship seminar also. Even though it is mentioned that Pancharatric formula, the deity worship is for the neophyte, In advanced stage also, devotees continue to serve because devotional service helps, the deity worship helps in expediting and bringing cleanliness in one's life, bringing discipline in one's life, and develop attachment to the deity. So both Pancharatrika and Bhagavata Vidhi are recommended for practicing devotional service. Maharaj Pariksit also used to play with Krishna dolls in his childhood. Here Prabhupada gives example. We know all Pariksit Maharaj, who got the darshan of Lord Krishna while he was in the womb. His upbringing also, as he was growing up, he also played with Lord Krishna's doll. And now also, in India, if you see the especially Rath Yatra time, anyone has seen Rath Yatra time in India, so you will see that the small Jagannaths will be sold in the street, because it's in Orissa. I grew up. That's what I saw in Rath Yatra time. The whole street they'll be selling small Jagannath. It's so attracting. So and children will get attracted very very easily. Anyone has seen that? In Jagannath Puri also must be. In some part of India, Orissa, maybe they have it. During Rath Yatra time, you will find all the Jagannath dolls, deities will be sold they will spread a cloth, they'll spread a big cloth. So many Jagannaths, they will be standing in line. Excuse me. So what happens is, you buy this, you pay some money, few rupees, you buy this, and you buy flowers from the market every day. You buy some bundi or sweet or poha, you make, then you offer, and they will keep it outside for 7 days. They will worship outside. So everyone who is passing by their house, they will see the Jagannath in their veranda or on the steps. That's the culture in Orissa used to be. Now I think this coming week or next week actually is Ganesh proper, Devata also, Devi Devata also. So Ganesh Puja also they do. So the Ganesh deities also will sold everywhere. Everyone will buy small Ganesh, big Ganesh, like that. Of course, that is that was not from beginning. It's very recent. I see the Ganesh Puja like that. But deities are available, and children get used to this culture, develop attachment to such things. And Prabhupada also mentions that in his childhood, he also received the deity of Radha Govind from his father. So even though it sounds like very, ordinary, but it is a greater impact in the consciousness of the child. From childhood itself, a civilized family can help the child to grow up in a devotional atmosphere and grow and develop that attachment, and becomes then in due course of time, when it comes in association of devotees, it's very easy to accept. It's very easy to accept. That's the some of the points. So Uddhava, we are hearing that he was not an ordinary, he was an eternal associate. He manifested love for Krishna from childhood itself. Generally, when devotees, they do not express their love that they are pure devotees. In the publicly, they won't reveal it. But those things can be revealed in association of the devotees, another genuine devotee. One another will know each other very easily. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was playing the role of a devotee, he did not manifest, when he did not manifest his, he the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But devotees understood you are the Supreme Lord himself. No matter what, how much you cover, you cannot cover from your devotee. You cannot be covered from your devotees. A devotee will understand and the Lord. Similarly, a devotee will understand another devotee also. That's what I understand. Maybe I can be corrected. It's very easily from the symptoms. So Uddhava became very much in ecstasy in association of Vidura when Vidura inquired all these questions. How is Krishna? How is other Yodha families? How is Krishna's devotees, his Pandavas? Constantly inquiring about Lord Krishna by Vidura was brought in remembrance of Lord Krishna, and Uddhava became in trance. So that's some of the points I had. We recently read about Uddhava. Vishnugata Prabhu read. I don't know what was the occasion he read. I forgot, but I remember we read about Uddhava. So I will open it for any questions, corrections, comments at this time, please. The two. Anyone had a similar experience as Prabhupada explains that in childhood he received the deity. Uddhava was playing with the Krishna doll, and anyone has similar situation? Anyone was playing with the deities when you're a child? Wanna share? If there is an no. Yes, Vishnugata, please.
I did not worship Krishna or Ram or Lord Jagannath deities in my childhood. We were taught, or we were encouraged to worship the American flag.
Oh, is it?
I pledge allegiance to the flag with my hand over my heart every day in school. And of course, we worship the TV, the television set, those things. So that's the Asura culture. So, as what our proclivities and what we're our habits are, we develop them in childhood so that they continue with us throughout our lives. The taste for food, the taste for entertainment, the music and all that what we are exposed to and we appreciate in childhood stays with us. So in Krishna conscious families, it's really important to even before birth, even at the time of conception, there's chanting of in ISKCON prior to the conception of the child. There's Garbhadan Sanskar, which includes chanting 50 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And then even in the womb, the child in the womb, is a good idea to expose the child to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and the transcendental sounds. That way they can become purified in that way. So those are, you've heard, people have heard the expression, you get up on the wrong side of the bed. Have you ever heard that expression before?
No, I didn't.
No, okay. Or you put your best foot forward, get up on the wrong side of the bed. These are American English expressions in the English language. Anyway, so in Krishna consciousness, we like to get up on the right side of the bed, so supposedly, or figuratively, by right away, right off from the early days, chanting Hare Krishna and engaging in Krishna service like Uddhava here. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumara acharit pragyo dharman bhagavataniha. From the tender age of 5 or before, the worship of Krishna is best done, so that one gets a taste and a habit of doing that. As far as Uddhava's relationship with Lord Krishna, as you mentioned, he's a cousin brother. In the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto by Hridayananda Maharaj, he says that Uddhava was the son of Lord Krishna's father, Vasudev's brother, Devabhaga. And on Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto, Devabhaga is cited as Vasudev's brother, and two sons are mentioned, but Uddhava is not necessarily mentioned there. But anyway, Hridayananda Maharaj quotes that as it's coming from the Harivamsa. The Harivamsa is a Purana that is associated with the Mahabharata, but the Mahabharata focuses particularly on the history of the Pandavas, with Lord Krishna also there. Of course, there's Bhagavad Gita, but the Harivamsa is focusing on some of the same pastimes, but focusing primarily on Hari or Krishna. So with that Harivamsa, he quotes that's what Uddhava is, the son of Devabhaga, who is the brother of Vasudeva, Krishna's real father. You mentioned that Narottam Das Thakur had the first deity of Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah, as far as I read, the Gaur Purnima, he discovered the deity. Oh no, then I can be wrong, because Vishnu Priya got the first deity, right? By Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Around that time, there was also another deity of a devotee. What's his name?
Is that Chaitanya?
No, the devotee who lived across the river from Advaita Acharya's house in Shantipur. I'm forgetting his name. I'm getting old. But anyway, he's the one where Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda came just before taking sannyas, and then they manifested deities, and he said, "Well, you stay, and the deities can go." This one?
Yeah.
I'm not remembering it. Somebody might remember.
Isn't Hridaya Chaitanya's spiritual master?
Yeah.
Gauridas Pandit?
Yes. Gauridas Pandit. Good. Yeah. So at least there's that deities, the manifestation of those deities is mentioned before Narottam Das Thakur. But you're correct that the Narottam Das Thakur, along with Janava Mata and Srinivasa Acharya, organized the first public Gora Purnima festival in Keturi Gram, which is now in Bangladesh.
Thank you. So in this, we can see that Krishna's deity dolls were made that time.
Yes.
No, during Krishna's time.
Yes. Nothing wrong.
Yeah, interesting. That's nice.
During Srila Prabhupada's time, generally we didn't worship a deity of Srila Prabhupada, but he made one exception for a sannyasi who was having some trouble. He allowed him to have a deity, Prabhupada deity made of him prior to his departure. And also in Vrindavan, they had the deities of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta were there in the installation of the temple. So anyway, but that deity that was made for the devotee, the sannyasi was having trouble, he actually gave up worship of that deity. So later, what happened was Lakshmi Nrsimha Prabhu. Do you know Lakshmi Nrsimha Prabhu?
Yeah.
He was the temple president in Puerto Rico. And he went to see Srila Prabhupada in October of 1977, just about a month before Prabhupada left the planet. So he invited Srila Prabhupada to come to Puerto Rico. And he described it, and Prabhupada said, it's like the Caribbean Hawaii, or the Eastern Hawaii. And Lakshmi Nrsimha said, yes. So please come. And Srila Prabhupada said, definitely I will come. But then he passed away. So shortly after Prabhupada's disappearance, Lakshmi Nrsimha Prabhu in Puerto Rico got a call from a godbrother, said, no, there's this deity of Srila Prabhupada that this devotee, he gave up worshiping, but would you like that deity? So they got the deity of Srila Prabhupada. One of the first deity of Srila Prabhupada made it's in Puerto Rico to this day.
Same temple, Puerto Rico temple.
Yeah. So the idea of worshiping Krishna when he's still present. Even though the spiritual masters generally they don't have not have a deity of the spiritual master while he's physically present.
Yeah.
Krishna is a different story. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His form and his personality are the same.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a unique situation, and just glad to hear all this. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone has any more comments, corrections on this? I was going through. I have one more question, clarification needed actually. When Krishna went to Mathura, Dwarka, he took all the all the Mathura residents of Mathura. I thought that he took all the residents of Mathura. Can you please explain? Because I was reading, looks like Ugrasen remained in Mathura, continued to rule. Only Krishna took only Yadus and Vrishnis, some of,
Where did you get the information? Where did you get the information that Ugrasen stayed in Mathura?
That is in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because what it says is, when Prabhupada writes in the purport, when Arjuna went to see Krishna, after Krishna has already left the planet, Yudhishthira Maharaj was waiting. So when Arjuna returned, he asked, is everyone okay? Is Ugrasen is doing well? And Prabhupada writes in the purport, saying that, because Yudhishthira Maharaj understood that when Krishna comes from Dwarka, he must have come through Mathura and met Ugrasena. That's what he's writing.
Well, we know that Ugrasena was also there later in Dwarka because, so it could have been he was just visiting Mathura. Because Ugrasena was there when there was the, when the curse happened. You follow?
Yeah. Ugrasen was there in the curse?
Yeah, because when the curse happened, Samba was playing and saying, acting as if he dressed up as a woman, and he had a pillow or something in his stomach area, playing as if he was a pregnant woman, and he asked Narad Muni, a sage, so what am I going to give birth to, a boy or a girl? And Narad is saying that this is they're like trying to make jokes with the sages. He said, you're going to give birth to a lump of iron that will destroy your dynasty. Remember this?
Did you say Narada?
Yeah, sometimes it's Narada, sometimes it's others.
Oh, is it? No, okay, I didn't realize Narada was also there.
Okay. So then that lump was brought to Ugrasen, and that's Dwarka.
That's what is confusing to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ugrasen was king of Dwarka, right?
Yeah, and before that he was the king of Mathura.
Right, but here, if you look at the purport here, when
yes, I see.
Our Ugrasen is, Kamsa is asking about Kamsa. Prabhupada writes, Hastinapur, the capital of the Pandavas, was situated somewhere near present New Delhi, and the kingdom of Ugrasen was situated in Mathura. While returning to Delhi from Dwarka, Arjuna must have visited the city of Mathura, and therefore the inquiry about the king of Mathura is valid. So here, this is the last phase. This after Krishna's man manifested his, his pastimes. It means Ugrasen was in Mathura.
Well, just like during the British Raj, the capital of the British Raj was where?
Calcutta?
Initially Calcutta, but they moved the capital, didn't they? To Delhi. Yeah. So, I mean, that doesn't, just because he's the king of Mathura doesn't mean he's also not the king of Dwarka. And he can move between the two. He can be the king of both, isn't it?
Yeah, so it means the residents of Mathura still remained there with other residents, and Dwarka was filled with.
Yeah, and Mathura didn't go; it didn't stop existing. But I don't know. These are speculations. I'm giving speculation, but the speculation is consistent with the understanding. Just we don't hear that after uh, after the devotees, so many people went to Dwarka that somebody else took over as the king there of Mathura, and that's consistent because after Krishna's departure and the departure of all the Yadus, who became the king of Mathura?
What is name? What is name? Vajranath.
Yeah, Vajranath, who was in Dwarka.
Yeah.
So I mean, there might be something like that. I don't know the details, but anyway, it's a good point. Good point. It's interesting how things fit together. There's probably some part of the Hari Vamsa that might say something about that. And the reason we were reading about Uddhava in the Chaitanya Charitamrita class was because Lord Chaitanya was manifesting the symptoms just like Uddhava when he delivered his message of Krishna to the gopis. So I read that. We read that for 1.5 sessions just because to get an idea of what Krishna's message to the gopis and how they received it was, and because it was just at the time of around Janmashtami, so I thought it was appropriate.
Thank you, Prabhu, so much. So we stop here. Anyone has any more comments? Okay, everyone have a wonderful day. Vancha kalpatarvyascha kripasindhuveva cha patitana pavane